Yo, what's going on, fellas? Today I have a video about how to edit in Sony Vegas. It's just gonna be the basics, so like the simplified, like let's just say you want to edit a YouTube video and get it out there and you have no idea how to do things. It'll basically be for that part of the process. Literally anything that's simple that you can think of. There's only like a couple beginner points that I can think of. I actually have a notepad that I wrote down. So these are the things that I'm going to go over. So setting up the project, importing, disable resample, trimming, pan crop, text, crossfades, and simple transitions, how to export / render settings. So all of these are the basics that you need to get a YouTube video out there and relatively looking nice for anyone that wants to view into your channel. And today I'm going to be using the version Sony Vegas 17. In general, all of them have like the same basics. It's just small things here and there, but this beginning tutorial should cover all of them essentially. All right, let's get started. So first things first, obviously, opening up the program, getting your clips, and the way that you import stuff into your project is you literally just drag and drop. So for me to get these into here, all I did was drag the file into this video track. So this is your video track and this is your audio track on the bottom. If you want no audio, you can always delete the track by right clicking on it and you can just delete it and the audio will go away and then you only have the video. But most of the time I don't delete the audio. I'll just turn down the gain, which you can do by hovering at the very top where my mouse is, and you can just drag it down. So that way if it's too loud or something like that, or you can do it on the sidebar over here with the volume slider, you can turn that down as well. But yeah, these are just the two ways that I control audio so that it doesn't really get overpowering in my ear whenever I'm working on stuff, because it will give you a headache, I promise you. So as I said, importing, you just drag and drop. So get the file, drag it in. I was talking about how you can turn down the audio with the mouse at the top. You can also do that for the video and just turn down the opacity for how much you can see. There's no point in doing that though until you get a little bit more advanced, because there's some effects you can do, but it's not a big deal for now. But then you just click up here, the project video properties, the cogwheel, and then first things first, whenever you start something, bro, disable resample 100% all the time. And you can click the box down here, start all new projects with these settings, because that way you don't have to go in here every single time. But I do it anyway just to make sure. I don't know, it's just a habit of mine, and I feel like everything else is default for me. Besides the frame rate, sometimes I'll make it 30 depending on what I'm doing. I'll make it 30 for a COD edit, but if it's like a YouTube video, I'll just keep it 60, which is 59.940 double NTSC. So you just keep it as that and click apply. That doesn't disable resample everything though. Like, you need to go individually into all of these and right click on the video. So click it with the left click and then right click and then go to switches, which is at the bottom, and disable resample. And you need to do that on every single part, legit. Like every single video that you import into here, you have to do it. Like this one, you see, it doesn't change anything. You gotta click disable resample again. Same process, rinse and repeat. Everything you add, first thing you do. Everyone that's ever edited in Sony Vegas will tell you that. It's hard to explain what it does, but it kind of adds like a ghosty effect and makes it look terrible whenever you're moving around. It kind of adds like a motion blur, but it looks terrible. It's so bad. So there's two ways of trimming, and I typically just do one of them, but I'll just show you both. So if you just want to be really quick with it, you can just go to the edge and you'll see like a couple dots with the left and right arrows. If you just drag that to the right, it's trimming it. So all this that was previously there is gone, so you can just trim it that way. It's mad easy. You just do it on either side, whatever you want, doesn't matter where. And if you want to get into the middle of the video and do that, then you can just click S and that should split it. Then you can drag it whatever you want. And the second way of doing things, this is more so for longer videos, or you want to get rid of a good portion of the video without dragging. Let's say I want to get rid of all of this. I would click S right here, like at the point that I want to, like the end of the point that I want to delete. I click S, and then right here, all of this, you know, it's highlighted yellow because I clicked on it with the left click, right click, and then you just delete. All that's trimmed out of the video, no longer there. Dragging is for shorter videos like a COD edit or like a really short vlog, short clips, highlights. And then the other way is more so for podcasts and stuff like that, things you want to cut out that are like crazy long. I'd say panic crop's definitely harder than explaining text, so I'll go over text first and then panic crop last, and then we'll do the rest. So you're gonna want to click on media generators. It should be on the left, like kinda where mine is. I feel like that's a default space for it to be in. I'm not sure though, it could be different in other programs, like other versions. Just try to look for media generators, and it should pop up with all of this stuff on the left side. You're gonna want to click titles and text, and then you can see the default, like all of these. You could do this, but it's kind of just like weird. I don't know, you don't need to. I usually click default, and the way that you're going to be able to drag a text in, like as you can see, let's say you want to put a text over a video, you're going to right click here, insert a video track, and then drag this over into the video track that you just created. So now you have a text here, it's on top of the video, and then you can just double click and type whatever you want. There you go, and that's text. And you can do a lot of things with it. Change the font if you want. You can just scroll through as well. Right now I'm just scrolling through. You can turn on italics or bold, whatever you prefer, whatever you think looks nicer. You can make it smaller than that. Basically like how it works in Google Docs. It's essentially the same thing. As for these lines right here, I don't usually use them because you're going to be using pan and crop to drag the text wherever you want anyway. There's really no point. It's just lining it up. Oh yeah, you can change the text color too if you want, like, you know, other stuff. I didn't even think about this. I never do this ever. But yeah, outline, shadow, whatever you want. Just mess around with it whenever you got time. So let's say you wanted to move the... This is where it gets a little bit harder. This is like the pan and crop section. Yeah, so it's kind of stationary as you can see. Well, it is stationary as you can see. I'm gonna make it move. This is keyframes, and this is more complicated. It'll be in the intermediate section whenever I make that video. For now, I'll just show you how to make it move generally, which is you go to the end and it'll create a keyframe once you move it. So let's say you want it to go like be smaller, right? You'd go this way. If you wanted it to be bigger, you'd zoom in. So let's see, I zoom out this way. It's getting smaller as time goes on, as you can see. That's just how you use pan and crop, make things move. How you zoom in and out, basically. You can also use pan and crop for transitions, but that's a little bit more complex than the transition I'm going to be showing today. So I'll get into that in the next video as well. So the crossfades, the way that you would want to do it is, if you were to drag this over, it would be the end of the video going into the beginning of the video of the next one. So what I'd want to do is I want to trim it here, and then drag this over. Actually, I'd want to wait. I'd want to get it to where there's actually a piece of footage. I didn't realize. It'll be right here. And then you're going to find where the other section is of the next video, so that it crossfades into it pretty nice. And all you do to crossfade is literally drag it into the other video. So I have the things highlighted. I'm just going to drag it over. This thing right here, this X, two X's, those are crossfades. They're fading into each other, so it's gonna look pretty seamless. You can kind of see it. It's I would have to drag it over more, but it's because I have a fade on the original video. It's also harder to do with audio, obviously. You kind of got to line it up if you want to figure that out. That's more complicated as well. But I'm just showcasing the visual here. Like you could do that in vlogs or whatever you want to do. Let's say you just want a normal transition, right? All you do is, you know how you were clicking on media generators for text? You look for transitions on the same row. And you just find what you want. You literally just scroll through and you look for something that you want. If I did anything at all, it'd be gradient wipes because they're kind of just smooth. Everyone goes for like the more professional look nowadays. So like no one does a star wipe. Like you can, but it just looks mad 2010, you know? Let's see it. Yeah, you can see how it kind of just swipes up. You can make it faster as well by just having less. You would just mess around with it. Basically just drag the gradient wipe to however much you want. Yeah, you can kind of see it there. Both ways are relatively easy, but I prefer the CROSSFADES just because I think it looks nicer overall, especially for vlogs and such. But at the end of the day, it all depends on your style. So for rendering, it's pretty easy. You just got to remember to click this thing down here, the loop playback. That's what I click just to make sure that I'm rendering the right stuff. So this blue bar, I double clicked on the video, right? And that just highlighted the whole video, not this section. So what you're gonna want to do is you want to drag it. So all of this is now ready for render. This whole blue bar is what you're rendering here. First things first, before you start your render, make sure everything is disabled, resampled, and make sure the project settings are ready. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't think you need to touch this. Yeah, it's the same thing. And then file render as. My preferred is Magic's AVC, and all you got to do is click on it and it'll give you the options. And my preferred is Internet HD 1080p 59.94 for vlogs or funny moments, highlights such as that. And if I was doing a COD edit, it'd be Internet HD 1080p 29.97. Then customize template for either one that you want. And the only thing I really change, I could be bugging for this, but I really just go to project and use project settings right here, video rendering quality. You want to change that to best and then click OK. And then you're literally cool, bro. That's it. You do title it, put it to where you want, bro. Name it whatever. You're chilling. It'll render and then you're done. And that Magic's thing that I told you about, that's something that you can upload on Twitter as well, so that'll fix that format issue. I think that covers everything for the basics and what you need to complete a video. If I miss anything, just let me know and I can get back to you in the comments. You can check out my socials in the description, anything that I got going on. I have a Discord and stuff. Intermediate and advanced coming out eventually. I just need to figure out what's advanced and what's intermediate. It's kind of hard to pinpoint, but everything I said today should get whatever you're looking for going. It should help you stand out a little bit better, or like if you don't want to pay people to do your videos for you, this should be a good starting point. You'll be able to really take off just doing this simple stuff. I promise you don't need anything more than this, but if you want to, then it's always an option. It gets more complicated as time goes on, 100%, but for now, that's all I got, and I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching, yo.